So I work from home now, and one of the biggest things I miss about my commute to the office and my prior job was listening to NPR. But the other day I got to leave my house, which was cool. And I heard on NPR, it was a story on like how do you actively make yourself smarter? And it basically shared like two strategies for being smarter. One is to hang around smart people, and the other one is to read books. So, Jana, since you can't do number one, what have you been reading lately?
Well, so in spirit of hanging with smarter people, outside of reading books, which I used to do so much, now I've had zero time, but you have to make time.
Yes.
So that's one of my goals for next year is to make time to read more. But you know my love for podcasts, specifically Huberman Lab and Lex Friedman. I will give them a shout out in every single episode.
Yeah.
That is always playing in the background, and I just hope by osmosis I retain some of it.
I would say, like in the digital age in 2022, active listening to digital media has got to be equivalent to reading.
It's got to be, yeah.
Like depending on the quality of the media, right?
Mm-hmm. And even I was listening to, and it could have been on NPR, it could have been a TED Talk, I don't remember, but they were talking about how some kids prefer to listen to a book instead of reading it, and they're like, that shouldn't be a thing in classrooms. And they're like, honestly, people reading a book on their own has become a thing even in more modern times. Like, most people didn't know how to read, and so they would gather together and someone would read the book.
Oh,
Right.
I never thought of that.
Me neither. And so you're able to retain the information the same way.
I will put on a podcast, science, research, anything that I'm personally interested in. Max will be in the room, and he might be playing or coloring, and then out of nowhere, he'll bring up something that the person said.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean he retained the entire episode or even half of it, but he got a little nugget, and he would have been playing regardless, so I don't know, that's like small wins.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But on that note, we are heading into 2023. Everybody always wants to better themselves for the new year and be better than they were last year, or they should. This book, Atomic Habits, very popular book, New York Times bestseller, talks about how a big reason people fail is because they set a goal and then when they don't meet that goal after a month or a year or however long, it's okay, it didn't happen. He talks about, he being James Clear, how if you can make a 1% change daily over the course of a year, your results will be 30 times better than where you started. And there's a cool formula that I posted on Twitter. So, in the spirit of, going for your goals, 3 sentences about, I guess, what is it? What are kids always? They want immediate gratification. It's not immediate, it's instant gratification. And it's all about really delayed. So, as quoting the book, so your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Your clutter is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. You get what you repeat. So we will be working on repeating good habits, 1% change daily.
Yeah.
And then we'll reassess at the end of the year.
I like that. I also remember reading similar, but it was like make one change and follow through for the whole week. And once you've got that down as part of your routine, add the second one. That way, because a day to day might be a little bit harder to keep adding new things, but like I really like that.
I'll say for me though, like I am a rip the band-aid off kind of person. Like I have incredible mental willpower. Like I can commit to something and and I just decide I'm going to do it, and I just do it.
Okay.
Which I'm very lucky about that. But I
Mhm.
live with somebody that is the one that needs to have like the gratification in a 1% change, because I think it's part of his ADHD. I don't know if anybody else has read about that, but I think that part of his ADHD makes it very overwhelming to conceptualize big shifts.
Mhm.
And that's probably more normal than my mentality of like, I'm going to run a marathon within the next 60 days, and I just do it.
Mm.
It's also got its flaws. Like, I eat the same thing for breakfast every day, and I can't get out of it. Like, it's,
But if it works for you and it's a healthy habit and it makes you feel good, why change that?
yeah. Well, I think that the problem for me is like it's in direct conflict with my living partner, right? So, like, when I want to make a change, I'm ready to, we're going to be vegan. We're going to start tomorrow. We're going to cut everything out. Like, and it's not practical.
Mm-hmm. Most people can't do that. And then to use your marathon as an example, like we're going to run a marathon, so that requires us to start running. Once you finish running that marathon, are you still a runner? Will you keep running? Will your partner keep running after the goal? I don't know.
That's a great
Do you
point.
want to keep running? I don't know.
I think that advice was great in the book about repeat the good things. Like, if you stay focused on that, it's very motivating, because bad things are going to happen every day, and you're going to slip up every day, and you're going to like not take the laundry up the stairs or whatever every day. But if you can stay focused on repeating the things that worked, that's like a really good way to put it.
Good way to wrap this up for a year. I don't know.
Well, can we make like a, maybe let's
Do
do
any of us have like certain things that we want to
Yeah.
work on?
a commitment, a
Yeah.
vocal public commitment of like
Yeah.
what we want to repeat in 2023.
Yeah.
Well,
It
see,
doesn't have to be any changing. Maybe it's just like that we want to expand on something good we're already doing right now and have it be like a bigger part of our life.
but isn't there something to be said about like progress made in silence, and then once you've achieved said goal, it's like, here I am with my atomic habit.
Okay.
All that's to say is that I'm not going to tell you what
Okay.
my goals are for 2023.
All right.
Okay, that's fair. No, because you don't want to taint it or spoil it, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'll try to think of one I'm willing to be public about.
Okay.
I have a very simple one, and it's the same one every year. It's to read more. And
Okay.
I always do. I mean, I read a lot. I think this time of year gets really hectic with holidays. So then I don't read as much as I started the year, or, I read all the way up until October a lot. And then this time of year, so it's the same one every year. And it's just a good habit. And it's just one of those things to like remind myself, like, you'll feel so good when you do these things. Keep doing it. It's not like a
Yeah.
deeply personal one. I feel like that's a really common one.
I was gonna go a little bit deeper. I think my point for improvement is I give the world the best of me, and I give my family the worst of me. So, every day I interact with a lot of people. I interact with my friends all the time. I interact with work a lot of times. And I just give my most positive energy to the people that don't matter as much to me as my family. So I would like to like scale up on the 1% of like the times that I take the time to reframe myself or go the extra mile or tell my husband that I love him, and do that more often so that my family experiences what the like external people at work, my friends experience from me.
I love that. That's really,
What an awesome goal.
yeah, it's a great goal.
We'll see. I'll have to tell my husband and see if,
You can have him like give you the
or maybe I don't
percentage of
tell him.
growth.
Maybe you don't.
No,
Maybe
see
I
if
don't
he
tell him and
notices.
see if he notices.
Yeah, see if he notices. I feel like he would.
We'll bring him on the podcast.
Yeah, well, and then we can
Yeah.
interview him about it.
We can show him the clip.
Yeah, and see what he thinks. That'd be really cool.
That's my public commitment.
All right, I love it.
We can have male energy on the side chat.
Why not?
Yeah, for sure.
Guest energy.
Guest energy. Would that be someone like Lex Friedman on the side chat?
Lex Friedman, we would love to have you on. I think we'd have a lot in common.
All right.
Until I guess we meet again in the new year.
Thanks for joining our side chat. Right? That was it.
That's it.
That's the line.